So now let's finish off Johannes Itten's color star by pressing Command 0 in Illustrator to center the artboard, and then we're going to go to step 38. Use the blend tool to apply a blend to each column of rectangles to create tints and shades of each color. Alright, so let's grab the blend tool. You can press W on your keyboard or click on the tool in the toolbar. And I'm going to use the space bar to move the canvas up so I can center the chart, and then zoom in with the Command key. Great. So I'll just move over to the far left, and then I want to choose, with the Command Option key, click on one object, click, and then add the Shift key so we can select multiple objects. And I still have Command, Option, and Shift now selected or held down. Click on the black rectangle just below it, and now I can click on the bottom left point. Now, it doesn't matter which particular point that I use, it just needs to have, I need to click on the corresponding point on the second object to blend between the two. So first I'll click on the first point of the top object, and then using the Option key, click on the bottom left corner of the black. So now I've got a blend options dialog box with some options. So the spacing option comes up with smooth color as the default. What I want is specified steps, and that will allow me to enter the number of steps in between. So I've got space for 2 boxes in between these boxes that I've selected. So I'm going to leave the orientation as align to page rather than align to path, and then click OK. So what I neglected to do was change the number of steps. So okay, I made 8 steps in between. What I wanted to do was create 2 steps in between. Double click, and then change the number of steps to 2, and that will modify the blend that we have selected. Now that's exactly what I want. So I can do the same now by selecting the white square as well, so using the Command, Option, Shift keys, and then clicking and dragging over top of that object. Now I can choose the bottom left anchor point on the white box, and then Option click on the bottom left anchor point of the purple. So the blend options are defaulting to spacing, specified steps, and 2 steps. So I can just click OK. Great. So now I just apply that same process to all of the boxes. So I can Command, Option, click, and then drag over top of the white and the indigo box and its corresponding black box. So this time I'm going to use the bottom right corner anchor point. So click and then Option click, OK, do that again. Click, Option click on the black box, and then click OK. So that's it. We just keep on doing that all the way along. So click, Option click, OK, click, Option click, OK, Command, Option, click, then drag, and then I'm going to select my next set of boxes, click, Option click, OK, click, Option click, OK. So just keep going. We only have to do this for 8 more times, so I'm going to speed it up. All right, so that's coming along nicely. Huh. I'm just realizing I don't even need to use the Option key. So it's really easy if you just click, click, and click. Oh, it does the same thing. So it's just using the default setting. I'm actually learning something new as I'm doing this, because that was initially a mistake, and now I'm realizing, wow, that's a whole lot faster. Perfect. All right, so we're almost done. And there we go. So now I'm going to save. So File, Save, or Command S. Command 0 to center the artboard. So now we have the full chart. Johannes Itten's chart was a little bit different, but we can fill in the details of that later. What he had was grayscale that sort of wrapped around his chart at the bottom, going from sort of a contrasting scale where it wrapped right around the chart. But we can come back to that later. For now, we're going to focus on applying these colors to the color star. So what we need to do is grab the eyedropper tool, and then Command Option will allow us to select various parts of the star. So I'm going to start with this star point, and then use the eyedropper tool to select the corresponding colors. So if I click on black, corresponding to this purple, now the color has changed to indicate that it is a color actually with 100% black. So in printing, this might not be ideal for what the printer would want for a rich black, but for the sake of this exercise, this is what we're going to do. In practice, you might want to consult with your printer about how that should actually be accomplished. A rich black might be 100% black plus 40% magenta, or sorry, 40% cyan to create a rich black. What the printer doesn't want is all of this ink muddying up the press. So this is just going to be a theoretical exercise, so we can see that these colors are actually being made up of different amounts of the saturated color, but additions of black or additions of white as we create these gradations. All right, so with this second object in the point selected, I'm going to click on the corresponding color and then go to the next object. Then choose the next corresponding color, and we'll find that we are just creating the proper gradations into white, into the center of the circle. So now we just keep on doing that all the way around the circle. So this could be a little bit tedious, but we can make it go fairly quickly as I'm Command-Option clicking on each of the elements to select. So to do this, you do need to make sure that under the Preferences and Selection and Anchor Display, you have Object Selection by Path Only should be turned off. So this checkbox needs to be empty with no checkbox inside. So that's what I've got. I'm just going to cancel because that's fine. Otherwise, you would have to Command-Option click only on the edges of the object to be able to select the object. As it is, I can Command-Option click on anywhere in this object, and it is selecting the entire thing. Alright, so back to where we were. Eyedropper tool, select the object. Eyedropper tool, select the object. Eyedropper tool, and then we'll just keep on going as quickly as I can. So you get the idea. It's a little bit tedious as we're doing this one by one, but it is a whole lot easier than typing in these values right into the color palette. Manually. So far this is going fairly quickly. And we're almost halfway. Great, so we're halfway. I know this is kind of a boring part of this video. Please fast forward if you like. You get the idea that Johannes Itten's color wheel is actually not that difficult to create once you understand the steps to create the shapes. Using the simple tools that are available in Adobe Illustrator. So imagine what this might have been like if you were doing this in the age of mechanical paste up. This would have been a huge, laborious process, very expensive, very cost prohibitive. But in this day and age, these tools have been democratized so that anybody can, who can afford a computer anyway, and a subscription to Adobe's Creative Cloud software, can create these amazing reproductions of what used to take an amazingly long time. Can you imagine actually painting in each of these elements by hand, which is what Johannes Itten would have done. He would have had to draw out this shape manually and then paint in each of the colors, trying to get just the right color in watercolor or whatever his medium was. So there we are. We have all of the points of the star have now been appropriately colored.